Hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you. I am here at the Brewerton Diner. Just ordered my breakfast up, getting ready for a couple of over easy eggs, some toast, and that Niskey bacon shipped in special. Make sure you get here to the Brewerton Diner. They've got it all. Right off the Bartell Road exit in Brewerton. You're in and around Central New York. You're home for a weekend. You're home from where you live now, and you're from the area. Make sure you pop and get here to the Brewerton Diner, as this place has it all. You're talking patty melt. You're talking burger. You're talking Reuben, Philly steak, Hero, grilled cheese for lunch. For breakfast, I'd recommend the Brewerton Benedict. You can get it on a Texas toast, slather with the bacon gravy over it, a couple of over easy eggs, and then you add ham to it. You can get some hash entrees, you get omelets, specialty omelets, and all the rest. So make sure you get here to the Brewerton Diner for lunch and for breakfast. And while you're here, you can sign up for our Syracuse basketball ticket giveaway. And last but certainly not least, when you're here, ask about their savings programs and ask about the Grubhub as well. They will deliver to your door. All right, I want to get into the Super Bowl a little bit here. A couple of quick thoughts here as we're inching towards it finally between the Patriots and the Rams. And of course, the sick to my stomach feeling that I think a lot of you have is that, you know, these two teams, well, on the one side, you can look at it and that they did execute a little bit better than the Chiefs and Rams respectively, Chiefs and Saints respectively. They both got an immense amount of help from the officiating crew in both of those championship games to get them to the Super Bowl. Neither here nor there. It's all done and over with, and we prepare for Super Bowl 53. I just start by saying quickly that this is still a matchup for the ages. I mean, this is Bill Belichick, the old guard, in his 9th Super Bowl, chance to win a 6th one, chance to win his 8th one overall as a coach in the National Football League. Remember, he won 2 with the Giants as defensive coordinator. You know, he's already an all-timer. He's just padding the legacy, so to speak. And the same goes for Tom Brady, although there will be a different ring to it. 6 wins or 5 wins, right? I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at here. 6-3 looks a hell of a lot different than 5-4, in my opinion. Tom Brady, if he wins a 6th ring, he's going to equal Michael Jordan in terms of championships won. Not many people can say that. Now, the difference, of course, was that MJ didn't go to 9. He went to 6, and he won all of them, and he took a couple years off in between. Brady's been playing basically in the NFL every single year for the last 18 years, outside of just a knee injury back about a decade ago. So those are some of the storylines on the Patriots side. The other side of it, the LA Rams, goodness gracious. I mean, Sean McVay, the whiz kid, the last time the Super Bowl was in Atlanta. Sean McVay was, or one of the last Super Bowls it was in Atlanta. He was 10 years old. I heard the other day, here is one of the most terrific, one of the most bright young head coaches in the NFL, in sports in general. I kind of liken him and Brad Stevens and some of those coaches kind of in that same, you know, compartment. McVay is just a whiz kid, and he's a guy who should have been interviewed by every single NFL team, including the Buffalo Bills, my team, and they did not do that. At least deserves an interview, for Christ's sake. The guy has proved his worth at this juncture right now in the NFL. And, you know, you take a look at the Rams players across the board. This is a great opportunity for Aaron Donald on the great stage. He's the best defensive player in the NFL. He wreaks havoc for the run. He wreaks havoc for the pass. Aaron Donald is absolutely positively he's arrived in the NFL, and this is an opportunity for him to be the major game changer to stop Tom Brady and company and win his first Super Bowl. You look at Jared Goff. Here's a guy who I think people are, you know, somewhat high on. I think a lot of people still feel that it's more McVay and the system, but if Goff can go out and play great, Jared Goff all of a sudden wins the Super Bowl, and, you know, then we'll figure out if he's going to become not an all-timer, but at least maybe a borderline Hall of Fame type guy, or if he's going to fall back into the abyss like a Joe Flacco. Or if he'll just be one of those quarterbacks, you know, who won a Super Bowl, and he's just in that category, but he's not a Hall of Famer. He's not an elite guy. He's not one of the great quarterbacks of all time. So a lot of great elite quarterbacks are in the Hall of Fame and never won a Super Bowl. Dan Marino leading the charge with that. But when you take a look at Jared Goff, he'd rather win a Super Bowl and, of course, have a ton of staying power as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL for years to come and a possible chance at the Hall of Fame, as opposed to just being with Trent Dilfer, with Brad Johnson, with Joe Flacco, with Jeff Hostetler, those kind of quarterbacks. So to me, this is a big deal for him as well. You've got the storyline also with guys like C.J. Anderson and Todd Gurley. You've got the running back game with Sony Michel in New England as well. That's going to be a huge deal. Back to the Patriots side for a second. You've got the storyline with, is this going to be Rob Gronkowski's last NFL game? This guy's a shell of himself. He performed well when he had to in the playoff games, but let's be honest, this guy can't even play more than a down or two in a row. He's got to go to the sideline, get rest, and all the rest of it. So this is a very, very intriguing storyline as well to see if Gronkowski is at the end of the Super Bowl. I don't think that Brady and Belichick will be retiring after the Super Bowl, no matter what happens, win or loss. I think these guys are going to keep going. I've predicted also that Brady and Belichick in the past will be back next year, winning the AFC all over again. So get ready for it. That'll be their 10th appearance in the Super Bowl. I called it last year that they'd be back this year. Here we are again, and until I see something different, I'm not picking against the New England Patriots. But this is full of storylines, and I will say this in terms of wrapping up this video here, 9 Minutes with Mike Lindsley on IGTV, YouTube, and Facebook here from the Brewerton Diner. Can we just get the game on already? I mean, this happens every single year after the AFC and NFC title games. We wait, we hear the hype. We wait, more people creating different things and all. Just play the damn game. It is a very, very difficult thing to wait for the game at this particular juncture. It's been a 2-week thing. Let's get moving. Let's get rolling. It's time. I remember back in 2001, because of the 9/11 attacks, there was only 1 week in between. Obviously, 1 week to me is the right amount. That year, because of terrible circumstances, it was 1 week. We'd never want, terrible circumstances to create just a 1 week situation. But, I just can't stand it. And I know what they're doing. It's 2 full weeks of hype. It's the Pro Bowl in between. It's more things that you can create. It's more storylines that you can create. It's historical narratives. It's all that stuff. And that's why the Super Bowl, to me, isn't as enjoyable as the conference championship games, isn't as enjoyable as a divisional weekend, isn't as enjoyable as wild card weekend. Not only because there's more games during those weekends, but it's just more fun, and there's a lot less hype surrounded around those games. So, let's just get it on. Let's get the party on. Let's go. Let's go to the parties. Let's eat some great food. Let's watch the Super Bowl. I think it'll be a pretty good game. I'll have my prediction. I'll reserve my prediction for later in the week. Obviously, right now with about 6 full days to go, I am leaning towards New England because, again, until I see something different, I always pick the Patriots. Last year, I picked them against the Eagles as well. The Eagles happened to surprise me. Nick Foles was great. Peterson had some kahunas, calling those plays that he had with the play down at the end zone. And then, of course, the Eagles made the big play defensively, and Brandon Graham knocking the ball out of Brady's hands, and that was that, and the Eagles won the Super Bowl. We'll see how many calls the Patriots get in this Super Bowl as well. So those are some storylines, and of course the hype train, which I'm not as much of a fan of. I get so exhausted. I get football fatigue by right now. Basically, I'm done and over with that. I'm done and over with the season. Play the Super Bowl. Let's move on to the Masters. Let's move on to college basketball. Let's move on to a lot of other things. NHL playoffs. I know the NFL's king, and I know people love it, but for me, it's not the only thing. Spring training coming up. Let's go. Let's get into it. Horse racing season and all the rest. So terrific stuff. Great to have you here from the Brewerton Diner. Check this out. I just got my breakfast delivered right to my table. I got a couple over easy eggs, some toast, and some bacon. How good does this look at the Brewerton Diner? Get down here for breakfast, get down here for lunch, ask about the savings programs, and again, you can check out Grubhub as well. They'll deliver right to you. And a quick mention, every Friday here at the Brewerton Diner, you can stay late and grab your Fish Friday with the mac and cheese. Terrific add-on here for Fish Friday and the Brewerton Diner. Breakfast, lunch, Fish Friday, you name it. Mike, Jackie, and the gang doing an awesome job. I'm Mike Lindsley. Hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports. You can download my podcast on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, the ML Sports Platter. And be sure to download, subscribe, leave feedback, and a 5-star review. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.